we're back. I haven't actually uploaded the video in a year or two now. I want to start doing some more serious, real controversial videos. Give my own fair share on what I believe is going on, and I'll just be reviewing news articles and stuff and criticizing as much as I can do. But I guess in the long run, I'm just here to have a laugh, and that's the best I could do. So yesterday, today's the 7th. Yeah, yesterday it was reported that female Uber drivers earn $1.24 less than men per hour. And yes, I know you must be bored by hearing gender gap by now. But let's just get this going. So I've read a few articles about this and it's hilarious. So basically, men earn 7% more than women, according to a new study done by University of Chicago, Stanford University, and Uber's own research team. And it was on 1.8 million Uber drivers, and 20% of which were women. And obviously, it found that they earn 7%, men earn 7% more. And the thing I love is literally every article is how especially blind things like race, gender, and sexuality, and it's hilarious. You got to think, if you don't know what Uber is, it's a taxi sharing app where anyone who wants to work for Uber basically can, as long as you have a car, you can work for them, and you basically become a taxi driver. You use the app, you bring them over. I'm pretty sure you know what Uber is, but when you order it, you don't actually see who the driver is until you paid for it, until you've actually ordered them to come. Obviously, you've got to know who's picking you up. So you can't go, oh yeah, I want to get a black guy to drive me today. You can't do that. It'll just give you a random local car. They choose you even. That's the funniest thing. So yeah, that's the best thing about it, is that people are so confused to wait, what? If an app which you can't there's no actual hierarchical positions which fund people, how is there a gender gap? But it will start to explain that in a second. So the best bit here is saying how male drivers are more likely to drive in higher paying locations and more likely to drive faster. So and also accept trips of shorter distances to the rider and will likely to choose longer trips. So men in general like to be fast, do really quick trips and really long trips, and higher paying locations, which from my experience of Uber, it's true. Men always every Uber I've never had a female Uber actually, but I've had mates who have. But every Uber driver I see is a male who drives around during central London where I live, during nighttime, where you get the extra money for it, and they know they can do short distances for drunk people, literally from for a few hundred meters. I've gone Uber once before when I was drunk, and they know they'll get money for it, so they do it. And the researchers are saying that these are factors because men are more willing to do that, which is why they're earning more money, which is, I guess, ultimately true. The formula Uber uses calculates drivers' wages. Shows it obviously turns out to be in men's favour. And women do also have a high turnout and pay on it as well. Blah, blah. It's just hilarious how this is working out. I think this is showing gender pay gap is not likely to go away completely anytime soon, unless somehow things in our broader society really change about how men and women are making choices about their broader lives, just like the labour market. So that's Stanford's Rebecca Diamond. Yeah, it takes a moment to seep into what she's actually saying. She's basically saying that it's society's fault for the fact that women drivers earn less than men through Uber, even though it's all to do with the driver's personal choice, which is the argument. I don't understand how you could say that, considering the women choose not to be doing that. Bit I sort of skipped up here as well. So the Freakonomics, which I'll get into a little bit later, saying how men drive fast and they're willing to take more hours and more trips than the average woman. But then the Freakonomics are saying that they arguing that it's because they have more constraints. They have to take kids to school. They're obviously primary caretaker, socialised. They play the expressive role. And they're just saying how women obviously don't have the less time and stuff to do it. And yeah, it is genuinely amazing. So that's on The Verge, and then bang, we've got here on Fortune. Pay disparity between men and women even exists in the gig economy. So gig economy is obviously you choose to do a gig here and there. Uber, anyone can choose to sign up to it basically. And it sort of goes through the same thing. And then here, bang! The gender wage gap has persisted with women earning under 89 cents on a man's dollar in 2016, even as the females have been returning to US labour force in great numbers. Then it starts explaining how, again, the gig sharing economy should be representing equal pay, but unfortunately it's not. The thing, what I love about this article that the other one doesn't go into is about Freakonomics. So this is what I was trying to explain. It's a podcast where they discussed this study which came out recently, 2 days ago, and he's saying how, or they're saying how the gender pay gap they believe should favour women in Uber because they worked a few hours per week, so they had a chance to cherry pick better hours during the week. So obviously women got to, I'm not saying they have to, but genuinely women are primary caretakers of children. I believe it should be more equal. Men are very underrepresented, but again, that is the way we live. Women are legit like primary caretakers of children, especially in America. So they've got more time. If they do want to get a job, they have more time to cherry pick which hours are best, such as nighttime, or such as just like 10 to 12 p.m. slot is. Every time I have a chat with an Uber driver, they say that's the time they work because you either get drunk people or you get people who just want to come home from work on a taxi, and they get like I think they get like 3 times the amount usually because they get like a surge fee. And then again, there's another thing he says. Point number 2 was that's just if there was discrimination on the platform, I think riders would prefer female drivers to male drivers. Yes, the amount of awkward moments I had with male drivers on Uber. For one moment, as I was on the phone to my friend, she was saying like we're both into memes, and I was like, I'm in an Uber, I can't really talk much. She goes, okay, why don't you tell him, do you like memes? I know I'm going a bit off topic here, but I asked the Uber driver, yo mate, do you like memes? And he goes, I haven't got time for that. My wife just divorced me. It was the awkwardest moment in my entire life, and I swear I'll never recover from it. It was very awkward. He started telling me how his wife left him and she's taking custody of the children, which, again, I'm very strong for, obviously supporting men's rights. But that was, like, any other time, if I asked him about that, then yeah, or if he came out to me about that, but not when I'm paying him for a £10 ride to the corner shop and back. I wasn't really expecting to get told about his life personal story. But yeah, so people prefer female riders in general because obviously they're probably more safer. So Fortune have come to the luck that they have put these 4 key reasons why women earn less than men through gig jobs like Uber. And that is 70% of women quit the Uber platform 6 months compared to 65% of male drivers. Obviously, it's a gig platform, so you do it to get you back on the ground. So if you're looking for a job and you can't find one, and you just think, oh screw it, I already own a car, I need to earn some money to pay insurance. Bang, you have Uber. So that's why people leave quickly. So I don't know why that's an issue, considering 65% of males leave and 70% of women do. Obviously, more women do, but there's still very high numbers, and maybe that's the point. It's a gig job. Maybe it's difficult for men to get jobs nowadays because there's gender discrimination against men in the workplaces, which are restricting them from getting work placements because of there's uh, positive or there is discrimination, um, positive discrimination as they call it, so where you're taking an ethnic minority or a woman instead of a male just to bump up the stats rather than actual based on skills. So maybe that's why these men are staying into these gig jobs. Oh well, completely different topic anyway. Again, the other point is saying how people who take more trips, so 25, not Jesus Christ, 2,500 trips on average earn $3 more an hour compared to people who earn 100 trips, which makes obviously sense because they're going to be experienced and know how fast to do it. So if you think to someone who's been a police officer for 10 years, they're going to know better what they're doing than someone who's just been there for a week. So that's like, I don't understand what they're trying to say. Someone who's been 2,500 trips earns £3 more than someone who's done 100 trips. Of course they will do, because they know what they're doing. They're not going to be sitting there faffling around on their phones all day, are they? About half the earnings gap is explained by difference in driving speed, and that's according to Uber. And of course, it's not just according to Uber. In general, men are 2.2% faster than women. And that's it says here how it's gathered from the National Highway Travel Survey, and it's true. Generally, men are faster than women in driving and in bed. No, but generally, men prefer to be. They rush more. They're impatient. Women have patience, which is obviously a big issue for men. But men are impatient. Who'll prefer to get from A to B quicker as possible. So that's probably why they maybe are faster. They're faster than women. So when there's a clear road, bang, Uber drivers go free. They just drive as fast as they want. And the remaining 1/6 of the gap is in earnings explained by difference in where people choose to drive. On men, or on average, men drive in locations with higher surges and lower wait times. Of course you would. Obviously, because men are. Again, I'm using just basic stereotypes. Men are more willing to put up with short, fast journeys compared to women. Might want to be more comfortable, and they hate having to keep on stopping, having to do that stop start. And it's true, every woman, every female driver I know would just prefer to go for a longer drive. Every male driver I know just wants to always stop. And it sounds stupid, and it is, but trying to explain it sounds stupid. But if you think about it, like I said, men are impatient. They don't want to be sitting there in a car. That's the main issue, is patience. Women have patience, men don't. And because of the way people on Uber earn money is through time, distance, and the amount of people they drive, all of that averages up into an hourly balance. That's why women are earning less, because they're more patient, which means they're more willing to take longer journey jobs, and men are impatient and they're willing to do. They want to do these fast 5-minute drives down short roads, or ones that's going to take 1 minute. They don't want to sit in their car for an hour waiting for someone to use an Uber to message them. They want to sit in, like I said, every key central point I've been to in my life with Uber there. Every ever I've been, whether it's been Uber, it's always been male drivers, because it's busy locations, like outside pubs or in central London's in big cities. There's going to be loads of Uber drivers there, and most of which are going to be men, because they're impatient. They want to quickly get someone to get in the car and just shoot off. They want to earn their money as quick as possible, and that's just a biological flaw in men. It might not be a flaw. Seems like a benefit in this case, earning 7% more, but. This whole scenario in general is pretty amazing, because it's literally just bang out explains why gender pay gap doesn't actually exist. Although this article does try saying that there is, obviously by saying women still earn 89 cents to man's dollar in 2016. But the actual article itself sort of just overrides that by saying that, oh yeah, it's just men are just faster. Men are more willing to drive in higher paid areas, which is, well, apparently now statistically true. So it literally just, this abolishes the gender pay gap myth, which is amazing. Fair enough, women do earn less than men on average, but they don't take into account personal choice, attributes of individuals, or anything. So compared to this, which literally saying there cannot be a sexist drive to Uber. There is no one who's sitting there going oh yeah, I want to pay this person 86 cents to a dollar because she's a woman, and I'll pay him $1 because why not? Screw it. No, there's no one doing that. Uber, you literally earn money straight, not cash now, but simply that practice of you're earning it, you're self-employed, you're doing it, and it just turns out women earn less than men in this field because they're not as impatient. Yeah, what more can I say really? Besides, wow, they've just debunked the gender pay gap. Thank you, Uber. I'm start using you more. Hopefully, get a few female drivers, and hopefully let them earn $1.24 more per hour. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Peace.